Welcome back to another video, guys. We are doing a top 5 best Horde Night bases we have created in 7 Days to Die in Alpha 20 so far. And I must admit, going back through my older bases and my videos, I've realized there are some really good gems in our catalog of bases, and here there are. Now, I'm not going to run a Horde Night in these bases. There will be a link to each individual base here where we did a Horde Night test. So if you want to go watch the Horde Night test, I highly recommend you check it out, because all of these performed fairly well at the stages they were set at. Now, just a quick note, these are my top 5. These are the bases that I like to use. Now, I can imagine there are a lot of people who would disagree with me, of course. 7 Days to Die is a very diverse game, and we all have our own ways of playing. But these are just mine, and maybe if you like them, you can take them and use them for yourself. Again, you can actually all download all these bases on my Discord as well. They're all featured there. Anyway, this was one that was featured a couple of times on the channel and has worked throughout Alpha 18, 19, and 20 to this day. It's just because it doesn't really destroy the AI too much. It doesn't cheese the AI. It's just simple. It's an underground base, and all you do is you run back and forth underground. And then while you're running, the zombies will follow you, and you shoot them while you're running up and down, and you can throw Molotovs up and it will burn them. And we also added a switch to this one, and this switch turns on the electric fences which run along the very top, and that actually freezes the zombies in place, and they don't actually dig down. So it's quite nice. When we did a Horde Night in this, they never even broke through the first layer of bars, and there's a second layer for a backup if in case. There was also an escape route as well, so if it really went bad, you could actually run out and run away. So that was that base, and I think it worked out really well, just like all the other alphas. Okay, so the one next to that, I was fiddling around with the rage mode. So every time a zombie falls down from a high place, the zombie gets angry and wants to hit on everything around him. So what I technically did here is I made it so there was nothing for the zombie to hit on when he fell down. Now, if you make a ledge, just like I've done here, the zombie doesn't detect that as a path. The zombie will not jump off the ledge because the zombie detects it as a height, and they don't like to jump off high areas. So that's why I added this kind of staging area. So when the zombies try and run across these poles, they fall down. But when they fall down, guess what? There's literally nothing for them to hit on but except the ground. So that worked out quite nicely. Again, there is a video. And what the zombies will do, they'll run on the poles, they'll fall down, and then they will try and repeat and do the same thing while you will stand in here and you would give them a couple of shots and whatnot. I think there was one or two that actually made it right to this pole. That was the smart ones. But yeah, they managed to eventually get to there. There was one problem I do remember with this base, so if you do download it, give it a try. The only problem that I had was the cop zombies can see through plates. And I think there were plates on this one or that one or something. There was one of them that had a cop issue, but it still worked really well. And you can see this has been held up by pillars and a couple of spikes, just if in case they decided to actually hit on the actual pillars that were holding you up. They didn't really do that. Alright, on to the next one. This one is the headshot tower. So basically, I designed this base around the idea of using a sniper rifle, but you could use it for anything really. So there were electric fences going up. So while the zombies were jumping up, they're getting electrocuted. It took them such a long time to even get to this step here. And while they're jumping up, you would stand up here and you would shoot them in the head. So that's why it was called the headshot base. And I had a sniper rifle. It worked really well. And you can chuck a bunch of Molotovs down there, and you can throw grenades. It worked really, really well. The original never had this cage around it like this. I added this cage here so it's easier to shoot the vultures, because sometimes the vultures actually do gather over here to try and get in. And then you had a switch to turn the electric fence on and off so you can get inside the base. And you had these side areas as well, if in case somehow they managed to get on this off-ramp. But they never did. I never had that issue. And these electric fences, I can imagine a lot of people saying that's a really bad idea to keep electric fences in the open there. But they didn't take any physical damage from the zombies because there's just no interest in the zombies to actually hit them. And the cop zombie wouldn't be spitting here because he can't technically see you while you're in here. He only will start spitting at you when you're down there. So that's why that worked out really well. Other than that, that's the base, guys. I try to make it look a little bit cool by adding that pillar like that. I sometimes do things like that. So here is Tower 308. Now, this one is our most recent one, and I am super impressed with this one. It works really well. We actually did some changes and stuff on recording while we were building some of it, and it worked really well. And I have done a few changes since then. These things were in the center, and I moved them to the side. The zombies were actually getting stuck inside these things, funny enough, when they were falling. But other than that, it works really well. The zombies come up around and then they try and go on these poles and then they fall down and repeat and do the same thing. It's very similar in some case to this as well, but it's just the opposite really. The original had the ramps going along the wall. I then moved them away from the wall because while they were climbing up like this, they were actually hitting on the wall. But since I moved the ramp away from the wall, it's much better. And then you can just get into the base from here. You can jump up, slide in, and then you just sit in here for the Horde Night. Worked really well, really impressed. Again, there will be a video down below if you wanted to watch it. Okay, so this is Bunker 2055. This was mainly designed by RJ. I helped her out quite a bit with it, some of the design. And this also worked really well. I'm really happy with it. You would notice a lot of the bases have very similar designs in terms of, let me just show you. I've used a lot of these poles. I really like using them. So there's poles there, there's poles here, and even this one now, this 2055 bunker also has poles going down. I'll show you guys. You go down here, and this worked very well. I was happy with this. The zombies would try and run across. I think there were hatches here at some point, and then they would just fall into this water. And that would slow them down, and then they would have to repeat and go all the way up, just like that, and just do the same thing over and over. We also had some assistance from the SMG turrets at the back, hammering them down while we were giving them knocks and shooting as well. We also did a little decoration, like you could actually stay in the space if you wanted to. You can see there's a little bit of decoration all over the bed. So yeah, this was quite a nice one, a little bunker that we made. So yes, those are the bases, my favorite bases out of the lot so far in Alpha 20. Of course, there's still a long way to go and there'll be a lot more bases in the future. But right now, these are my current 5 favorite. There was a few questions on some of the videos. They were asking me about structural integrity. And I'm going to show you guys some of that stuff now. I was quite shocked when I saw it myself as well. But don't be too scared. These bases still work pretty well, even when they are not standing up properly. So you can see the majority of the bases are fine. Obviously the colors indicate how bad they are in structural areas. If a demolisher had to blow up here, really this base would be insignificant and it would not work, so try not to do that. This one I would say is about the best one when it came to the structural. This one was average, not too bad. As long as the demolisher doesn't blow up here, you should be fine. This one is really bad. But the reason why it's bad is to stop the zombies from hitting on anything down below. Originally, the wall would go down right over here, but then the zombies would start hitting on this section, and that would really defeat the purpose of the base. So, all in all, you don't really need to worry too much about the structural integrity when it comes down to this base, because there won't be any zombies hitting on anything unless you have an incident with a cop zombie or a demolisher blows up. Then those are going to be problems, but just don't do that, you know. But yeah, I know a lot of people ask me about that one, and I've shown that one. This one obviously is all underground, so nothing really wrong with this one at all. Well, those are my top 5. I really hope you guys enjoyed these top 5. If you did, be sure to subscribe. Hit the like button, always helps out tremendously. Again, if you want to watch Horde Nights in each individual one, there will be a link to every single video we've done on these bases. And on those videos, I explained that you can actually download these bases on my Discord if you wanted to give them a try. So if you wanted to not try and copy them, you can just download them. It's very simple. There's even instructions on how to actually add them to your world, okay? So yeah, again, let you guys know this is my opinion. This is just my favorite. I would love to see what your guys' favorites are if you are a content creator, or if you just want to give me a link down below. Be sure to share it and I'll check it out. Thanks everybody, we'll check you in the next video, and I hope this helped you. Bye bye.
All together, learning about a history. Love and kindness, we all need a family. I did my best and knew just how to play my part.